Hello, it's Barbara here, your favorite longtime professional home care personal support worker, union steward, and certified member and co-chair of a joint health and safety committee. Hot diggity darn, I'm amazed I remembered all that stuff when you consider it's been so long since I've made one of these. It was actually when I had my COVID infection 1 year ago this month. So this one is going to be a short recap of my infection and the story of me getting my 9th inoculation. So for those of you who don't know, I deliver health care in the home. Sometimes we are sent into what are called congregant settings. That's your retirement homes and that sort of thing. So I went into this place and I met with the staff, wanted to get report before I went up for the first time. I chatted for a bit, and then when I got into the hallway, I happened to look up and I saw the appurtenances for isolation in front of 4 doors and then 3 doors that way. What I mean by that is it's a 3-drawer plastic bin that's got gowns, gloves, masks, sanitizer, and there's a dedicated garbage can. And there is a sign on the door as well stating they're in isolation and why. I slapped a mask on, but as I found out 2 days later, it was too late for me. On the Thursday evening, I was just left the patient. My throat was a bit scratchy, so I was like, that sort of thing. And I thought it was because I hadn't been drinking enough water, which I hadn't been. So I got to the car and little coughing, drank a bunch of fluid. Cough started picking up as I headed home. That was about a 45-minute ride. And I got home and I doffed my scrubs, got into my comfy things, and was sitting up on my bed watching a series of some kind. And then the cough really started to get bad. Went to bed, and the next morning when I woke up, I felt like I'd been hit by a freight train. My throat was a bit sore, no doubt from the coughing. Base of the skull headache that went all over. And stuffiness. And fever. Managed to remain reasonably upright as I made my way to the bathroom and grabbed a COVID test, and then promptly swore like a longshoreman when I was faced with the positive result. Then I went back to bed, called my work, and said, hey, I can't work this weekend. I was out with the active infection for 10 days. Fever is there for a reason. I had a fever. It made it to 102.5. The thing is, the fever's there to fight the infection. And if you take something to break the fever, it won't fight the infection. So I didn't take anything for it. I didn't take anything for anything, except when I was too stuffy, I took an inhaler. I watched my fever. Now, if it had hit 103, that's heading into danger zone. 104 is really bad. You can start to cook your brain. I would have taken partial something just to take the edge off, because as I said, the fever's there for a reason. So the first day I slept for 18 hours, then it was 14, 12, 10, and then 8. On the 11th day, my results were negative, but I had the lingering effects of just feeling so exhausted, tired, just like my whole body felt weighted down. So I did go back to work. I wasn't my usual exuberant self because of what I was feeling. And I was angry. I was so angry. I had been so careful. I had almost made it 5 years, and I was sent into a place that didn't report the infections when they should have. And I ended up suffering for it. And of course, you try to go to WSIB. It's extremely difficult to prove something like that to WSIB unless it's something chemical or radiation or something else environmental like that. I stewed for quite some time. And then I came up with a bright spot. I thought to myself, you are extremely lucky that you caught it then and not at the beginning, because at the beginning we didn't know what it was. And there were no vaccines. I would not have had 8 vaccines under my belt as I did at that time. In fact, there's a lot of people who have told me that, I wonder if that's what I had, because it wasn't like a cold and it was different from a flu and it was this and this. And the fact is, a lot of people did have it. They just didn't know what it was. When you've had an infection like that, you have to wait 3 to 6 months for the next shot. I waited 3.5 when I got my 8th. And then after that, I got the notification that the next one was out. So yesterday, I got my 9th. I got the flu shot at the same time. This arm is fine. This is where I had the flu, very minor. They do stick you with a pointy thing. But this one, oh my dog, without pain, I can go there. It really hurts to do this. And people may be saying, then don't do that. Well, the thing is, I don't want to baby it. You have to move your shoulders and, it's an important joint. It's not so bad right now. I've got so much I have to do around here, but I don't want to do it with this as it is. So I thought I'd make one of these. I've had my 9th. And I'm still alive. Let's see here. Nope, they're still not sticking to me. And just a second, let me look. Nope, the 5G still sucks. Not growing any limbs or other heads or any such thing. No, my skin isn't turning reptilian. No autism here, which is a bunch of bull spit, but that's something for another day. If you go back in my videos, you'll see the thing I did on that in Andrew Wakeman. And RFK, oh, there's pee. What a piece of work that one is. Now is the 6th season. Please get your vaccinations. If you have a few days of feeling awful, slightly feverish, that's your body going into overdrive, making the antibodies. Other effects may be you're allergic to something in it, or you were already infected before you got the shot, or as in the case of the flu vaccine, you caught a strain not covered. It's a trivalent this year, which means it covers 3 strains that were most prevalent last year. The science isn't perfect. That's what we've got. Anyway, so yeah, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you on the flip side.